Crypto is facing a major threat, probably one of the biggest that we've seen in a long time, and it's not the SEC regulation. In today's show, we'll cover that story as well as a couple of trade setups. I have about 8 different trades for you guys today, as well, so make sure you stay tuned until the very end of the show, and we can have a look over here at the Banter Bubbles chart to start off with. You can see some of the coins are starting to sell off, some are popping, so it's all over the place here for the Banter Bubbles, but there are some key elements that we need to be looking at in today's show, and I'm going to be giving you some long trades and some shorts to hedge against that, because if this news or FUD plays out, well, it could be really, really bad for the crypto market. So I want to start off over here with this tweet before we get into the main news event of today. Zach says Bitcoin is up 83% this year. Meanwhile, Riot, which is these are Bitcoin miners, is up 445%. Bitfarms 354, Marathon 398%, and CleanSpark is up 247%. Bitcoin mining beta is as strong as ever. Now, if you look over here at Glassnode, you can see that there is a potential warning signal which is currently playing out. And essentially, what does that mean? If you look over here and you read the metrics at the bottom, it says when Bitcoin becomes too expensive to mine relative to the actual cost of mining, then the hash ribbon indicates that the worst of the miner capitulation is over. When the 30 MA of the hash rate crosses above the 60. So switching from light red to a dark red area. And then it says over here that times when this occurs, the price momentum switches from negative to positive, having shown a good buying opportunity. So you now have the green, though, crossing below the blue, which could be indicative that maybe the mining is going to start to get too expensive. And that could be one reason why you have this bit of a bull run in the Bitcoin miners. The other risk that we have over here, but it's not the main risk for the crypto market, is the DXY. And that is coming into a key area over here. It's yet to confirm the breakdown. It could still potentially be a deviation that could bounce and reclaim over here. So it's something that we need to pay attention to. If that is the case, then ultimately you have your range and you'd be looking for the dollar to continue within that range. If we hold down here for probably another week, so this week closes over here, you can confirm the breakdown, and then you're looking for the dollar to go a lot lower, and that should mitigate most of the risk, meaning that the dollar goes down and typically then crypto goes up. We know that they generally trade inversely to one another. You also have the S&P 500 futures chart over here looking strong as ever, continuing its onslaught towards the upside, now pushing into that major resistance zone. And the higher this pushes up over here, the more shorts will have to cover their positions. Remember, shorts covering their short positions means essentially they're market buying back, and that creates an additional squeeze higher. So don't be surprised if you see the stock market making all-time highs sooner than what most expected. If you look at that percentage-wise, it's only sitting at 5.6% away from already making all-time highs, which is pretty bullish for the most part. Now, if you look at Bitcoin dominance has been coming down, but overall, it's not necessarily something that we can call alt season yet until you see a proper break back into the range. So if you consider this, the broader range that the Bitcoin dominance has been in for quite some time, and you see the dominance deviate back below the range high, which is coming in at that 48.6% level, then you can say, well, now it's a real possibility that altcoins will start to rally, but we know how the market acts. The market front runs these ideas weeks in advance, which is why you're already seeing some of the altcoins rally. And in today's show, I think I have 6 different long trade ideas for you, paired up with 2 short trade ideas to hedge against that in case it's wrong. So stay tuned till the very end. I will make sure that you get those. Also, if you do appreciate the content, please take 1 second out of your day to smash the like button and hit the bell notification so you get notified anytime that we do go live. Moving on to ETH BTC, a general proxy for how the crypto market or the altcoin market is doing. So everything, basically this gauges, tracks similar to what you'd see with Total 2 and Total 3, excluding Bitcoin. And you can see at the moment, it is trending down. We're still aiming for our ultimate low target at 0.0557, which would be the range low support. Where does this idea change? Well, if we continue to consolidate above this 0.25 level, which is written on the right-hand side, that is 0.25 of the way through the range. and we break the diagonal downtrend, which is the downsloping resistance line that we have coming in over here, then we can say something's starting to change. But for the time being, we have to call resistance, and support, and ultimately that is the resistance it's rejecting from, which means that technically speaking, Bitcoin should still be outperforming ETH as well as the majority of altcoins in the market. And you can see over here on Total 3, same thing. We've been looking at it for quite a few weeks. Wyckoff accumulation schematic 2 indicates that the ultimate low may already be in. If that is the case, you want to see Total 3 continue to consolidate around this $350 billion level without breaking that down. A break above the $380 to $400 billion level will clear the major resistance as your downsloping trend line, as well as the prior horizontal resistance. That should shoot Total 3 up into the SOS phase, which on Wyckoff is your sign of strength. Consolidating around 460 billion would be indicative that that is indeed playing out, and ultimately that's where you really want to consider shifting into altcoins, and you can say the momentum is in the altcoins favor, and we'll be looking for major upside in altcoins versus their Bitcoin pairings. But until that happens, until we get into the SOS phase, it's jumping the gun too soon. If you Google Wyckoff accumulation schematic 1, you will see Wyckoff accumulation schematic 1 suggests that you may have a secondary low, which is lower than the prior low, meaning that if that plays out, you could get to that $231 billion level and then only come back into the range. That could mean negative 40% for altcoins. And there's something going on with Binance, which I'll show you could be the cause of that. So if you have a look over here, Dylan Leclerc, he says, some interesting flow happening in the BNB futures. Perpetual futures open interest is seeing new highs as funding rates have gone deeply negative, negative 200% APR for the next funding period chart. It looks as if someone is getting ahead of some bad news, meaning that it looks like they're hedging and shorting the BNB token. The last time BNB denominated open interest was this high was in December 2020 when price was $30 and then funding was extremely positive. In terms of open interest, it was only $50 million then compared to the $400 million now. Interestingly, the open interest is not entirely just on Binance any longer. Take a look at the BNB open interest, not on Binance, on the other chains as well. He says, yeah, it's up only and surpassing that $150 million level. Open interest on other platforms is the highest it's ever been in both relative terms and absolute terms. It's a market that's no longer completely driven on Binance, very notable in his opinion. He says, lastly, take a look at the funding rates on Binance for other large cap cryptos. There is an outlier. Traders are getting short on BNB and they don't seem to care about the high costs that they're paying on funding. Remember, you have to, if everybody's taking the same trade, then you pay the opposite side. So if everybody's shorting a particular token, those who are long will be getting paid by the shorts to keep those positions open. And ultimately, that is the case. They don't mind paying to be short here. And he says his personal hunch is that the DOJ charges arrive shortly and people in the know are positioning accordingly. Let's see. Let me know in the comments, do you think this is true or is this FUD? Because there has been FUD after FUD after FUD smashed at CZ and Binance. They've really had a tough year of having to dodge all these stories. If you go down over here, you have Udi over here. He says, my brother in Christ, there is a hyped up distribution of Arkham via the Binance launchpad tomorrow to BNB holders. People have been buying spot BNB and then hedging with perps for a week, and I fully expect funding rates to reset after the airdrop tomorrow. Nice try though. And in all fairness, Dylan Leclerc does say that he's right and that he misinterpreted the situation. But at the end of the day, we have covered this. We covered the chart. We showed that BNB is in a serious bear flag on the daily time frame. I'm going to show you that level, and we had a swing failure pattern off the top side of the range. We'll cover that as well in today's show. And then also tying in with that, we were aware of this whole Arkham airdrop which is taking place. Now, in order to participate in Arkham airdrop, users would have to stake BNB tokens. So they could borrow that and then stake BNB, obviously decreasing the sell pressure, and consequently, when the Arkham airdrop launches today, they can unstake that, and that could mean that additional BNB could hit the market. If you look at what happened previously, if you look at this chart over here, it says introducing the hooked price protocol, and then you have that token on sale. That's when it launched, went up a little bit, came back down, and then you have over here the Edu token sale, and then you have SUI. Now, ultimately, 2 out of 3 of these led to further downside price action. This is high time frame. It's on a weekly, so it could potentially signal the case for prices to come lower. And there are some strange things that's going on around this whole Arkham sale. If you look at Nay, he outlines it. Now, I don't want to go into too much detail, but essentially he says, yeah, Binance is pulling a weird move for the Arkham listing tomorrow. They're capping the transaction price for the first 5 minutes at 10x the public sale. And then he says he has some quick thoughts and data on how to play it. So essentially they're reducing what the fully diluted value could be for the first 10 minutes based on what will be released. Feel free to go look through that. I'm not going to go through the whole details, just a lot of fun and strange things going on. And then you also have True USD, which we know that Binance allowed for all BUSD to be converted straight into TUSD, essentially just passing the buck, right? Moving BUSD into TUSD. And here you have DJ and Spartan saying, you won't trap me. Basically, it says Prime Trust operations are paused until further notice, meaning you can't make any transfers. But True USD says, hello, sir, TUSD are operating as normal. If you have any questions or would like more information on ways to mint and redeem it, reach out to us. But you can see he can't. He tried and he can't do anything over there. So very, very interesting. Also, the layoffs. Wu Blockchain says Binance has terminated its 5-year partnership with the Argentinian Soccer Association just after 1 year, citing a breach of contract. The move comes at a time when Binance is cutting half of its staff and employees' benefits. In January 2022, Binance became the main sponsor of Argentina's national soccer team. And then underneath, you can see the comments. Binance pays 90%, which is true, of their employees' salary with the BNB token. And essentially, unfortunately, the Soccer Association only accepts fiat money. So that's a lame excuse to terminate the contract right after laying off 1,000 employees, of which some of those were key executives. Now, their severance package was also paid out in BNB, which means, well, what's going to happen? There's a possibility they could dump those BNB tokens as well. So there you have the confirmation from Blockchain Daily, Binance laying off 1,000 different employees. And then you have Adam Cochran, who's having an absolute field day fighting with CZ. And he says, yeah, you simply inflate your fake in-house currency. You pay your employees in that and internally encourage them to only ever sell half of what they receive, right? And then you run constant launch pool lockups to keep it marked to market high, right? And basically they're having a massive dogfight over here. At the end of the day, all we really care about is the charts, right? And you have over here, the FUDers must pay. Justin, Sun, and CZ. I personally would like to donate 100 Bitcoin to the FUD Fighting Fund. CZ says that's a nice raise. I guess I'll put in 100 BTC as well. Expensive tweet, but let's make sure the FUDers pay too. The FUDers must pay. They must pay today. And what does the chart say? That's all that I care about. I only care what the chart says, and that's the trade setup. Essentially, very, very simple. You do have a bear flag. Here's your measured move. Copy and paste that or clone this line over here. That gives you the measured move. From the breakdown of the flag, we've been consolidating sideways. You had your swing failure over here, which is now confirmed. And pretty much I would stop out of this trade if the BNB token were to push up and clear the left-hand side liquidity over here, which also would take out the swing failure pattern that we just had that took place on Friday the 14th. So get back above that level, and this trade idea is out. Now, this is not a trade that I'm looking to take to make mega bucks. It's not a money-making trade. It's simply a hedge. If Binance is the biggest risk for crypto right now, then very simple, short it. You just want to hedge against that. We know how important this $225 level is. If that level breaks, they're going to be defending that at all costs. We've seen what's happened with Luna. We've seen what's happened with the FTT token. You can't think that something is too big to fail. It can definitely go down. And very simple, right? You just want to hedge the position. Ultimately, this trade is already in profit. If you start to break down the bottom of that flag, then you have confirmation that this could potentially come down 47.7%. Now, the big problem is if that does happen, it probably takes the rest of the crypto market down with it, which is why obviously all your long trades should have invalidation levels and stop losses in place. I'm going to go through a couple of trade ideas that I have. We did cover some of them yesterday. All the risk to reward tools are on there. If you appreciate that, smash the like button. I don't know any other YouTubers that put up all their risk to reward tools over here to show you exactly what the trade would look like that they're taking. Smash the like button. It really helps to get the content out there, and it does help the show. So the next short trade that's currently in play is going to be Curve. Simply put, price pushing up into the 200-day moving average, rejecting and failing to get through the major resistance at 86 cents. So stop loss goes above. That swing fail that happened on the wick over here, also on Friday the 14th, similar to Binance, that's your stop. If price gets above that, it means it's also reclaiming the 200-day moving average, and this would be a swing trade idea. All of the trades I'm about to show you are swing trade ideas on the daily time frame. You'd be looking to short this all the way back down to the range lows, giving you a massive 29% move. Okay, then we have a couple of long trade ideas which have very close invalidations that would be stopped out very quickly, and consequently, if prices were to go down, if BNB does fail and start to come down and break this level, all of the long trades I'm about to give you will stop out, and this should be an in-the-money trade that should cover every single one of those stop losses and some more. So don't give me any hate on these. Okay, Render pushing up over here, still holding the uptrend, trying to reclaim the top side of the range. Very simply put, it's coming into that diagonal support. I would be looking to stop below Monday's low, which happened on the 10th of July. That is your stop loss. Entry is pretty much right over here, and you're targeting to the top side of the last top that we had is coming at $2.74. That's a 39% move. Swing trades, right? Low leverage or spot positions. You don't need to go high leverage. This was a trade that we gave yesterday. This is STX. Stop goes below Monday's low. Most of these trade stops will be below Monday's low. You're holding the 200-day moving average over there. Very, very nice trade setup. 8.8 for risk to reward ratio, targeting the top side closes over here at 81 cents. So currently in the money. Uniswap was a trade that we gave ages ago, all the way back here on the 28th of June. Ultimately, if you wanted to compound this trade, technically speaking, you can. That would be the entry just a little bit above where we are now. You'd stop out again below that Sunday or Monday's low. So Monday's low, you can focus on Monday's low for most of these trades. Lose that level, you lose the 200-day moving average, and you want to be out of that position. Next trade, Perpetual. He has Perpetual, so pretty much right at trade entry over here. Again, same thing. Stop goes below Monday's low. If you break below Monday's low, then you're probably going to be going a little bit low, and we need to reevaluate. This is trading back into the range, deviation. You can see historically how this has played out. You're going to find a bit of resistance at the 200-day moving average at 65 cents, and then all the way to the top side it goes. Okay, Ocean is the next one over here. Been holding a decent uptrend. It's not as high confluence to me as some of the other trades, but nevertheless, I'm still giving it because it could be breaking back above mid-range. It's being held up with the 200-day moving average as support, and that gives you a 5.24 risk to reward ratio. Your stop loss, same thing, below Monday's low, right? Which is also below the 200-day moving average. That is the trade ideas. Those are the trade ideas. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 longs, 2 shorts. That's 7 trades for you. Hit the like button 7 times. You like 7 trades, 7 likes from each of you. Call your families as well. Get onto their mobiles. Cool. Next, Litecoin. Litecoin's probably something to focus on. It's been very hyped, big narrative, obviously, because of the Litecoin halving. If you look at Benjamin Cowen, so far Litecoin is fading into its halving just as it always has done. And this is what you want to be careful of, right? A lot of the time, just before the halving, right before the halving, Litecoin absolutely nukes. And yes, it does get another pump up after that halving event. But this is the prior times. That's 2016 down, 2019 down. And now will 2023 be the same thing? If you are holding Litecoin, I definitely advise to be careful of that. Don Alt over here has also shown, somebody over here said, can you put up a chart of Bitcoin during the same time frame? It's true, Litecoin has lost value against BTC, no doubt about it, but it pretty much just follows BTC 99% of the time. So he said I was being nice posting a chart of Litecoin versus USD, but sure, my friend, here you go, Litecoin versus BTC after each recent halving. Absolutely smash. Will the same thing happen again? Most likely it will. Probably it will. So make sure always, any of these long-term investment ideas that you have, you want to really weigh up the pros and cons, and you want to see that the chart that you're looking at, whatever the coin is against BTC, should be trending upwards, onwards and upwards, right? That's very, very important. I typically trade altcoins just to get more Bitcoin. So Bitcoin would form my longer term HODL kind of position, my investment position, as well as a little bit of Ethereum just to hedge against that. But ultimately, if the altcoin's not in an uptrend, I don't even trade it. So at least to the upside, I don't long it. Next, Chainlink. There's also something happening with Chainlink. Link is now officially, it's got a gas token. So it says Link is the gas token for bridging every chain. So that's some news that's come out. You can see Chainlink over here. It's got a big interoperability play that's just been launched, whereby you'll need to use Link as the gas token. So could that mean that Link could run? Let's see what Link looks like over here. I haven't brought the chart up for some while. Okay. Chainlink. Here's Chainlink. It has reclaimed the 200-day moving average. You guys will remember that we focused on this for quite some time. This is an eternal range that's been around for absolutely ever, all the way since the 11th of May 2022. And you had the stops that got wiped out, right? All these stops over here, we spoke about this for months. Stops got wiped out, and now it's back into the range, reclaiming the 200. Could it be something that will pick up as a narrative? It's a real possibility. I would say as long as it's holding above the 200-day moving average, it is worth a play, but this is pretty flat. This is a flat line chart. Not much is happening. So remember, it's the opportunity cost as well. Although it could move up slowly but surely like that, the opportunity cost is there's other coins that are going to be moving up like that. So you need to pick these strong coins and stick with them when you are trading. Okay, yesterday the stream abruptly got cut off. We do apologize. For some reason, the building just lost internet. I don't know why, but ultimately this is what I wanted to cover yesterday, right as the stream cut. And it is Bitcoin on the daily time frame, ultimately focused here on the ranges. You can see, very simply put, range high, mid-range, range low. I'm going to show you Ethereum because the same applies to Ethereum, and then I'll talk you through it. Same thing, range high, mid-range, range low. Let's go back to Bitcoin, and then we'll go into the analysis over here. So Bitcoin has been holding the nice, beautiful uptrend over here, reclaimed the mid-range, beautiful bounce deviation below that mid-range, also trend line regression and bounce off that. And now we are forming a bull flag. So keeping it very simple, we're forming a bull flag over here, which, yes, it's looking a bit sketchy. It's taking quite some time to play out. But if you understand the charting patterns and you want to stick in line with what they suggest, well, the probability should be that this should still break to the upside. Now, what's great about that, if it does break to the upside as well, you'd be looking at a possible sweep above that range high, and that's where I would really want to be careful, above that $33,000 mark. So if you get up to 33,000 and it holds, very bullish, continuation onwards and upwards. Then you go to 36, then we can look to 40, 42, 44, and so forth. But if you see this, if this breaks towards the upside and it consolidates a bit and breaks back into the range, pretty bearish. Then you need to consider shorting. That is probably where I would lay off my long positions, which I've been holding for quite some time. Remember, the majority of my position was entered over here, and I also had some of my positions over there. And since then, I've been selling near the local tops and re-adding at the bottoms, right? So I've been reducing my average entry. I'm down to about $17,000 on my average entry for the swing trade idea. And this is where I'd start to really consider laying off that position, or at the very least de-risking more than I de-risked over here. So keep that in mind. That is a possibility. However, of course, this could happen as well, right? You could see that this bear flag could break down, But then you're probably going to get a trend line regression over here at the very worst. I don't even think you'll come that low. I'd be looking more towards that 28,500, which I'll show you why on the lower time frames in a bit. I think that would be an opportunity to get in. It might just be a wick, reclaim the range, and then continue on higher. So that is Bitcoin on the daily time frame. If we throw on the moving averages over here, you can see it is starting to struggle. It's starting to struggle with those moving averages. At the moment, you're losing let's just confirm which ones we have on over here. It's the 12 and 24. So the yellow is the 12, the 24 is the pink, and you are starting to lose both of those. The longer we hang around here, the higher the probability is of breaking that down. And then in line with that trend line regression, your worst case scenario, I think, is coming back to the 200 EMA, which is currently 26,600. And then the 200 MA is at 25,800. If these lows get breached, the lows that we made at 25K, well, things start to change drastically, and it could be possible then that this entire move was just a major relief rally and not the start of any bull run, right? Because that is still a possibility. Cleaning up the chart a bit, I want to show you what I mean. So is it possible that this could happen? This is always a possibility, right? That this was going to be a relief rally, break above the range, deviate back down. Maybe you go there and then reaccumulate. Maybe you go even lower and take out the lows. However, I think that fundamentally, this would be quite catastrophic to the market. It's not my base case, not at all. That I weigh this line out here in the very, very low probabilities. I'm much more focused on maybe just small pullbacks and then continuation up higher. So let's look at Bitcoin on the lower time frames. Why could this move take place? Well, you have your resting liquidity, which is coming up over here. Call it your fair value gap, your liquidity gap, whatever it is that you want to label it. But essentially, you have a buildup of untagged liquidity, and that liquidity is starting to get taken at the moment. So worst case scenario, we'd be looking at a pullback towards 28,500 in the short term before taking the first bounce. Yes, the zones that I just gave over here are a lot lower, but I'm talking about now in the short time frame, a possible bounce from 28.5 likely leads to break back into the range and then continuation higher, or it's going to be an underside rejection, so something like this. If it's an underside rejection, well, then we're going to get out of that position there, and then we can say, well, now we're going to make it down to those much lower levels. But very well could just hit that liquidity, break back into the range, and then continuation upwards. So we're at a critical point, a pivotal point within the market, and everything going on with Binance obviously adds additional pressure to the longs, and it's something that we need to watch very, very carefully. So 4-hour time frame, you are getting 200 EMA support right now on Bitcoin. Ethereum should be pretty similar over there. There you have it, holding that 200 EMA as support. Once you start to lose those levels and it crosses down, holding below that, meaning the 50 crosses below the 200, the whole picture starts to change. Okay. This was what we've been looking at for quite some time. We got the deviation above. Also wasn't able to cover this yesterday, but it played out, of course, over the weekend, I think it was. That was Thursday. Thursday it played out. Going into the weekend is where we had the move down. We now caught below the mid-range. I am still looking for a proper sweep of this level. The same way that we saw the sweep above the top side at 31.5, I think we're going to sweep that 29.5. The question is, how low do we go? Do we go to 28.5 or do we go lower than that level? Ultimately, where I'm interested is when it breaks back into the range. So the sweep, the reclaim of the range, and now you have your stop point, right? You can say, that's where I'm wrong, close the position out there, and ultimately looking for price to continue back up. Okay, liquidation levels, where are they at? You can see liquidity to the downside has now been tagged. I am on Bitcoin 7-day time frame. Tag the liquidity there, tag the liquidity there. Let's zoom in and take a closer look. So liquidity needs to be reestablished. The market is obviously trying to process where price is going to go. Players don't know whether to be long or short on the market. Hence, I even have multiple trades, as we just indicated, 5 longs and 2 short positions, because that's hedging, right? We're not 100% sure, but your lower side liquidity is at that 29.2 according to High Block Capital, and most of the players are positioned short. If you look over here, there is currently, let's just quickly see over here, the cumulative liquidation delta. You're looking at 11 billion in shorts, right? $11 billion in shorts. If these shorts get squeezed out of this position, that's $11 billion worth of liquidity to capture. If you are looking for these sources, the flows, where you can look at high block capital liquidation levels, there is a link in the description below. Check that out. It gives you 15% off, which is the only place that you can get that as far as I know. I haven't seen anywhere else. Took a long time to get that organized for you guys. And then we have also partnered with Real Vision. Big news. I'm the first one to break it to you. We have partnered with Real Vision. Their platform offers an assortment of expert traders like Tom DeMark with his TD Sequential, the 9-count TD Sequential. If you do want to learn more about this and you want to take your trading or investing to the next level, elevate your knowledge, check them out because Banter has arranged a special sign-up bonus. You can click on the link. It's all in the description below. This is what you get. You get live AMAs. You get course content. There's a whole bunch over here. Check it out in the description below. You do get sign-up bonuses. And then smash the like button. Hit the bell notification and subscribe to the channel. Click on the link over there below. There you go. Or investing, smash the like button. See, I liked it myself as well. And then everything is in the description below. I will see you guys all on the next one. I'm so glad today worked out with the internet and there was no issues. Thank you all for watching. I am also going to drop these charts into the Discord for you. So straight after the show in the next 15 minutes, will be in the Discord. By the way, the sign up links to the exchanges is your key. That is your NFT access, if you want to call it that, into the Discord community. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. And that's it from me. Cheers for now.